Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing this Deathrocker inspired makeup look for my Get Goth With Me series here on YouTube. So if you want to see how to get this look, first make sure you subscribe to this channel and then keep on watching. As always, I'm starting with a good primer all over the face and I'm massaging that in with my fingers. Now we're going to apply concealer all over the eye area and also to my many blemishes. Phew, that was a lot. So now we're going to work that into the skin with a foundation brush. For the brows today, I'm starting with my usual dark brown pomade and I'm filling in my usual brow shape, drawing a line across the bottom of the brow on both sides, then going back in and creating a line on the top of both sides as well, and then filling them in. And towards the front of the brows I'm going to start fading out that product so that it doesn't look too harsh. This is just the way that I've always done my brows, it's the way that I find most comfortable to do them. Classically a Deathrocker brow, if you like, would be quite sharp and quite angular, but today I'm just going to do what I feel comfortable with. So once I'm happy with the shape, we're going to darken them down a little bit with some black eyeshadow. The eye makeup for this look is going to be really bold, so I want the brows to be quite dark to balance the look out a little bit. And as you can see, I'm emphasising that arch a little bit more to give a sharper effect. Now we're going to lay down a white eyeshadow base onto the lids, making sure it's nice and evenly covered. For this particular look I'll be using yellow eyeshadow, but you can really use whatever colour you want. I'm using a primary yellow for the centres of the lid and then a slightly warmer toned yellow on the outer portion of the lid. And we're going to keep packing that colour on there with a flat brush until we're happy with the coverage. As you can see, I'm using a light tapping motion to apply the colour. This way we're going to get a bigger colour payoff. So here is where my camera decided to stop recording, but as you can see I've used a matte black eyeshadow to kind of outline the eyelids along the crease, down into a wing shape and then under the lower lashes as well. And then when we get to that inner corner we're going to make a small downward curve. Then we're going to take a super fluffy brush and blow that black eyeshadow right out so that it's nice and dark and smoky. I'm also taking the shadow down the sides of my nose and then fading it out with a clean brush in a moment, but this is a personal preference thing. You by no means have to do this step if you don't want to. I just like the way it looks. So here I am going in with a clean brush, diffusing that, I guess you call it a nose contour I suppose, diffusing that colour out a little bit and making it a tad more subtle and a tad less muddy looking. So now back to that inner corner point, we're going to make sure it's nice and dark and defined and try and get that point as pointy as possible. For the inner corners of the lids today, I'm going to be using a light gold highlighter, and this is going to really open up the eyes. After all of that black, we need something to kind of counter that and really open up the eyes and make them look a little bit fresher. Now to line the top and bottom waterlines with black pencil liner. And now we're ready for some liquid liner. We're going to take a line right from that lower inner point that we created, right along the lash line, and then swooping up into a nice big wing shape. I'm using the line of the eyeshadow as a guide to help me get both sides equal. And then we're going to go back over the lash line, dabbing right up close to the lashes so that the line is nice and solid. You can also use the liquid liner to refine those inner corners and the wing point. If and when you need to, just make sure it's nice and sharply pointed. If at any point you feel like you've gone a little bit too far with the liner or you slip, I found it really useful to have a NYX Wonder Pencil or any pencil that matches your skin tone on hand to correct any slip-ups, and you can also refine any awkward points that way too. Now let's move on to the base. For this look, I'm back to using my usual combination of my normal foundation shade with a little bit of white foundation mixer added in, and then we're going to blend that in with a foundation brush so it's all nice and evenly covered, taking care not to mess up the eye makeup. Now I have oily combination skin, so I don't like any excess dewiness on the base, so I'm using a clean blending sponge to A, remove any excess oils from the base that I don't need on my skin, and B, make sure that foundation is evenly covering without any brush marks or creasing. To begin contouring, I'm using a black cream product today, and I'm drawing in some lines along the natural contours of my face to define them a little bit more. And then we're blending, and we're blending, and we're blending. It's extra important to blend super well when you're using darker colours to contour with, so that it doesn't end up looking too severe. saying that, don't try to blend out too far because then it will end up just looking a bit muddy. So try and keep it nice and diffused, but exactly where you put it, if that makes sense. Again, you can use the sponge to go over the top and soften and diffuse the colour a little bit more. Now we're going to set the foundation with white pressed powder. I'm mostly using this along the T-zone, but also around the eyes and anywhere that might end up creasing. Now for my Ride or Die contour powder, and I'm using this to set the contours we just applied, and this will help it look a bit more like it's part of the skin without looking too orangey. And obviously where there is contours there must be highlight, so now I'm using a powder highlighter to counter the contours and really lift the face. Now to quickly clean the lips of any product that may have got onto them, and I'm also going to quickly clean off my piercing jewellery as well because I am messy and my makeup gets everywhere. So now let's move on to a little bit of mascara. First I like to coat the top side of my top lashes with black, and this will make sure that the lashes aren't coloured by any of the eyeshadows we've used. Then we're going to prime the top and bottom lashes from the inside of the lashes, if that makes sense. And I'm making sure that's nice and coated. This is going to give us some big spidery eyelashes without the need of falsies, which kind of do my head in a little bit, to be honest. So while that primer is drying down a little bit, we're going to add some cute detail to the eyeliner in the way of some little dots of yellow liquid liner, or use whichever colour you decided to use as your main colour. For the lips, we're going to line with a black liner, and then I've added some white to the centres of the lips and then press them together. And then I'm filling in the edges and the corners of the lips with a black liquid lipstick. Now we're jumping back to lashes. I'm going to give them a very gentle curl. Be aware that we've already got product on there, so you don't want to be too rough with your lashes at this point. And then we're going to apply some more waterproof black mascara to the top and bottom lashes. And you can go in quite heavy with the mascara because we want nice big spidery lashes. You can add falsies if you want to, they just kind of irritate me a little bit, so I try to avoid them. So now the liquid lipstick has dried down, we're going to pack on some more of those yellow eyeshadows, or whichever colour you chose, on top of the white sections of the lips, and we're going to keep on dabbing it on until there's a nice blend into the black. So this is the finished Deathrocker inspired look. I hope you enjoyed watching today's Get Goth with me. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to this channel before you leave. Do it now before you forget. If you'd like to see more of my makeup looks, you can check out the Get Goth with Me playlist, which is linked on screen now, and I'll talk to you in the next one. See you later.